Alright, I've got the pistol cleaned, so now I'm going to put it back together. First I'm going to show you the problem spot in this pistol. If you look here, we've got this little tab thing that's on the back of the hammer. This big silver piece is the hammer. And this thing, it sticks down into the pistol grip, and if you don't put it together properly, if you don't do the correct procedure when you're putting it together, that little tab, as you can see, gets stuck in that crossbar in the pistol grip, and it is extremely annoying because it causes all sorts of problems. That little tab thing is supposed to go into the body of the mainspring housing. Mainspring housing right here. It pushes against that little indentation there, and it goes into the mainspring housing. That provides the power for the hammer when the hammer strikes the firing pin. Okay, so first of all, when you put this back together, you need to make sure that the hammer is laying flat like this, so that you can put the bolt back in. Otherwise the hammer will get in the way of the bolt. If the hammer's up, you can put the magazine in and pull the trigger, and that will allow you to push the hammer back down flat. Okay. So now you can put it back together, and it's really just a simple reverse process. Put the receivers back together, and then you're going to strike the lower receiver this time with the hammer right on the back, right there. And make sure it's down all the way. Don't go crazy on it because you don't want to break it, but make sure it's down all the way. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the rod on the mainspring housing to go through the receiver properly. A little extra oil there. Okay. Now that you've done that, you make sure the hammer's down flat, and you can just slide the bolt back in. And now at this stage, what you want to do is you want the hammer to be forward all the way. So put the magazine back in, pull the trigger, and then use something to push the hammer forward by poking it through the pistol grip right here. Just make sure it's all the way forward, and make sure you hold it this way when you're putting the mainspring housing back in, so that little tab is falling forward, or it's falling all the way down against the inside of the pistol grip. Now you can put the mainspring housing back in and just hold it like this, because it's going to go in like that, right? It's going to go through, and then you're going to fold it down and put it in like that. So push that little rod up through here and through the receiver, and make sure that it's coming out of the top of the receiver right here. Make sure that the little bump comes out of the top. Now that you're at this point, before you push the mainspring housing back into the pistol grip and lock it in place, you want to turn the pistol over. And that causes that little tab to fall down against the mainspring housing. And now that when you push this mainspring housing back in, the tab will go right into that little indentation in the mainspring housing. So you push it in like that, and then lock it in place. Now if you put it together properly, you should be able to pull the bolt to the rear. If you've done it wrong, you probably won't be able to pull the bolt to the rear. Okay, and now that you've got it back together, you should do a functions check. So I cocked it, and obviously you want to make sure it's unloaded whenever you do a functions check, but I just put it together so I know it's unloaded. And we're going to try it on safe first. Okay, it's on safe, it's not firing. Okay, now it's on fire. I'm going to try firing it. Okay, fired. So I'm going to hold down the trigger, pull the bolt to the rear. It's going to reset itself, and then I'm going to release it and push down again on the trigger, and it's going to fire again. Okay, that's good. I'm going to try putting it on safe while it's after it's been fired, and I can't. That's good. Try putting it on fire again, or I'm going to cock it again and put it on safe. And I'm going to take out the magazine. Forgot to do this here. I'm going to put it back on fire. Take out the magazine and try firing it without the magazine in, and it won't fire. It shouldn't fire. Okay, and that's good. So that's your function check. Alright, and that's the Ruger Mark III 22 caliber pistol.